there. Welcome to On the Beat, the podcast that uncovers full frontal male nudity in cinema. My name is Laura, and I am joined by my stage manager, Ryan.
Awful.
Yes, we're here to talk about the 2005 biographical musical comedy drama, Mrs. Henderson Presents.
Yes. Yeah, we are.
Directed by Stephen Frears, starring Dame Judi Dench, Bob Hoskins, Will Young, Christopher Guest, Kelly Riley, and Toby Jones, who I don't even think speaks in this movie. And you want the synopsis right off the bat?
Well, why did we pick this movie?
I don't know.
That's probably why we should say.
Sure.
I thought it was a funny in-joke because it was like my birthday, and it's like on the day of my birth, they were like, Mrs. Henderson Presents, and it's Ryan.
It's you.
Yeah. There you go.
That's why I've been asking you to pick the movies for your birthday month, and you go...
I picked one that felt very literal.
And the one thing you didn't know you were going to get as a birthday gift was the penis of a man that you really never expected to see.
It might be the best thing I've ever seen in my life. That sequence might be the best thing ever. But we will see. Mrs. Henderson Presents is a surprising film. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did.
I kind of expected you to enjoy it just as much as you did. This movie's for everyone, so it works.
Well, it's very British and it's a little bit fruity. And I seem to like things like that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Things that are very much within its own, very much within its own sense of parodying itself, but it's because it was all real. That's how folks spoke like, back then. That whole, like, pull up your trousers and chin up, everything's gonna be okay, it's the war, like that sort of thing. I don't know, I seem to appreciate it. At least that mentality.
It's funny because that's how you're kind of explaining the movie now, but when I throw the synopsis out there for people who haven't seen the movie, that might not make any sense.
Okay. Well, maybe I can fill in the gaps.
Okay.
Maybe I can do what the synopsis writer was not able to do.
Okay, so I'll do one
which
and then
was fully inform the reader.
Do the next.
Yeah.
So, pulled from Letterboxd, the synopsis is as follows. Eccentric 70-year-old widow purchases the Windmill Theatre in London as a post-widowhood hobby. After starting an innovative, continuous variety review, which is copied by other theaters, they begin to lose money. Mrs. Henderson suggests that they add female nudity similar to the Moulin Rouge in Paris. End of synopsis.
Yeah. Well, it takes place it starts in the 1930s, and then it moves obviously into, the rise of the Nazis, and then it kind of runs into obviously the Blitz, and obviously the UK, like Great Britain is at war with the Germans. So that's the time period in which it's set in, so that people get an understanding that this is at the time this idea of the vaudeville, this naked exhibitionism. The UK is very conservative. It's still conservative now. But yeah, back in the day, this was insanity. This was disgusting.
No.
It was to them, to the prudes. I'm perfectly okay with women standing up there with their bits and bobs out. I don't have any problem with it.
Well, I do love the way in which they were able to get this on the stage. The tagline for this movie, by the way, is, "The show must go on, but the clothes must come off."
Nice. I like that one. I like that a lot. They really thought about that one.
It's great.
Yeah. Well, it's better than some of the fucking taglines we get. Jesus Christ.
That's true.
Not so great synopsis. Saved it with the tagline. Yeah. No. I think, I don't know. Where do we go from here?
Well, this film is based upon a true story, albeit some of the dates were changed to be later to have more of a musical 1930s style. So in actuality, Laura Henderson, by the way, her name is Laura, which love that. Love when someone has my name.
Yeah, I mean, you could have had my surname, but you decided you didn't want it.
It's
so.
too similar.
Mm.
Why change it to something too similar? It's not fun.
I mean, for the sake of my legacy.
Okay.
Which I don't care about, by the way, because we're never having children. So basically, it dies with me.
Yes. So the real Laura Henderson's husband died in 1919, and she bought the Windmill Theater in 1930, and the nude performances debuted in 1932. So it's just it's a slightly different timeline, not too terrible, but yeah. And when her actual husband passed...
Because here's the weird thing about that, is that that's the actual timing. It makes me kind of think that maybe the timing is the same in the film and it's a little bit timey-wimey, and that maybe things are going on a lot longer.
That had to have been the case.
We are.
Because, I mean...
Because it's obviously the 20s. It obviously starts in the 1920s. Like, it feels like... To me, it feels like the Roaring 20s. When you first get into the movie.
So, I mean, when you get, because it's the early 1930s, so that makes sense. But then the war doesn't break out until 39.
Yeah.
But then 39. It's going to be longer until, England's involved.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that 39 is when it properly kicked off, though. That's when they invaded Poland, isn't it? Or am I getting it slightly mixed up? Because I thought Nazism was dwelling within the country from the 30s onwards.
Right. And it didn't just pop.
Yeah, it didn't just pop off. Hitler was just not single ball Hitler just wasn't like, hey, right, we're doing this now. And
it was quite a while he was cooking up schemes for people to be like, hold on.
Well, he was growing his base.
Of course.
That's what it was. And he was surrounding himself with people who also agreed with his fairly radical and quite disgusting rhetoric. So there is that.
Right.
Yeah. Either way.
Maybe we'll talk about Hitler a little bit more later. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm an archaeologist. I am not a World War II historian.
You're not a historian, no.
No. Even though I would love to be also. But
I covered the Great War in school. It didn't have much to do with the Second World War. So I'm not
You didn't have anything to do with it? Good.
In terms of reading about it and expanding my knowledge, no. But I do remember covering obviously the World War One. From 1914 to 1918. I remember
it's so different in the U.S. because we did not learn about the Great War as much as we learned about the Second World War, obviously, because we feel as though, America likes to put our little flag in things.
You do. I would say that, obviously, since I'm from Europe, we would cover things like, the Great War, since it happened in Europe. Same with the Second World War. But no, it was intrinsically linked with the Russian Revolution as well. So I got to read about the Russian Revolution, which is fucking fascinating. But yes, it's all intrinsically linked, because that's when it doesn't really matter.
Let's go back to Laura Henderson, okay?
Yeah.
Her husband passed away her actual husband passed away in 1919, and he had an estate valued at £82,913.
Which is basically makes them a millionaire in today's money, I think.
In today's money, or at least as far as money was in December of last year of 2024, it was worth £3,000,000.6.
Yeah.
So that woman was walking around with £3.5 million, giving it away to people to put on shows.
I felt like she was a woman who had been burdened by tragedy and sadness, and she wanted to put something else out there.
Well, yeah, she was probably also bored and sad because she'd been living in India for so long, and she's like, you know what? I loved that as soon as the funeral ended, or the wake for her husband, she goes, I'm bored. I'm bored. I want to do something. And she goes out and buys a theater. It's rad.
Yeah. Well, she's also lived a relatively, probably quite secluded and suppressed life under under a time with her husband, I think.
Well, when she was
Certainly
she
going
mentioned
to
in
India.
Well, yeah, when
she
she
would have been
mentioned
treated
that.
like a second-class citizen.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the Windmill Theatre, which is obviously because this is based on a true story, many notable British comedians, including Peter Sellers and Bruce Forsyth, performed at the original Windmill Theatre, which closed in 1964 and was converted into not a Spoons, but a cinema, which I'm sure would probably be a Spoons eventually.
Yeah,
But
usually that's usually how it goes. That's what happened to every other closed cinema that was in Edinburgh, as I remember.
Yeah, theater to cinema to Spoons.
It's like, and that's the thing. I would love for a Spoons to like, take over the Omni Center or something. It just becomes like a giant Spoons. It's like Biodome, except it's a Spoons. Yeah, because it's all glass faced.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they start putting like traffic cones on the giraffes and stuff, like outside, just to really class it up a little bit. Well, the thing is, you also have the Pleasance just a little bit further down, and that has at least a couple of very authentic, like what I would refer to as like theatre bars. Because at the King's Theatre as well, you had the bar next door, which is a quintessential theatre bar, which they're just like very classical sort of pubs. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they just turned the Omni Centre into Spoons.
Well, Bob Hoskins, as we know, is in this film, and his father actually took him to the windmill when he was 5 years old. Saw the tableaux.
All right.
When he was a little kid.
There you go. It's an institution. Let's put it that way.
It was.
It's an institution.
They built the entire set as well. They built the Windmill Theatre.
Okay.
Built the whole thing. Because I guess at the time that they were making the film, it didn't seem like there was any other way to pull the whole thing off.
The film has, at its core, like at its essence, it's got its claws, its talons into the style of musicals of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the way it's edited, the way things are put together, there's obviously the opening title sequence, the way the sets look, the way everything's kind of performed. It's very much got a classical, Hollywood musical sort of style to it. And I think that kind of oozes from every pore of it. Just because it's like everything has been manufactured, basically, it is on the stage.
It makes complete sense that this was made into a West End show. I think in like 2016.
Okay.
Somewhere about there, maybe it was slightly earlier, but yeah, it became a really popular stage show.
Okay.
And musical.
Yeah. Well, it has some songs. There's some numbers.
Yeah.
It follows the beats of a musical.
Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part. I mean, it's mostly a fiction film that's rooted obviously in a true story, but the thing is like it's just a film about their stage show. So it's not like you have scenes in the middle where like Bob Hoskins just suddenly bursts into song, or Judi Dench. It's not like that sort of musical, but it very much hinges a lot of stuff like stylistically on like the way that they produce the stage show elements of it.
I have a hard time calling it a musical because typically songs and musicals will drive the narrative forward. It's just a show.
This is just, you're just watching a show. But there's musical elements to it. I think that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Is that it's a multi-layered genre piece. It's very much a period musical, wartime good time.
Wartime good time.
Wartime good time.
Sing-songy.
War times, good
almost
times.
Old person romance.
Yeah, like Good Times, Bad Times from Led Zeppelin. But yeah.
So this film was always a Judi Dench and Bob Hoskins vehicle from the start.
Okay.
Before there was a script, before there was a director, there was an idea, and it was Judi and Bob. Stephen Frears was taken out to lunch and told that Judi Dench and Bob Hoskins want him to direct them in this film. And again, there wasn't even a script yet. all that Stephen Frears retained from the meeting was Judy, Bob, and Windmill. And of course, the Windmill is quite a staple in London theater. And he said yes, because he thought, wow, that sounds fun, that I get to direct a load of girls with their clothes off. Yeah. And it was I think it was a whole year before they actually had a script in hand.
Okay.
And he said he read it. Great, cool, let's go. And Bob Hoskins had neighbors who collected the Windmill brochures, like the old brochures from the theater. And on the brochures, it said Vivian Van Dam presents. And then in other brochures, it says Mrs. Henderson presents. And then they ended up going down this rabbit hole to kind of find out about who is Mrs. Henderson, what's her story, how is she involved in this whole thing. And that is what in turn kind of started this whole wheel moving about the story. Like, get this woman's story told.
Interesting.
Let's figure it out. Yeah. It's a kind of interesting backwards way of how you would get a movie.
But that's the thing, like,
ground. It's kind of fun.
Historically, who was primarily remembered for the Windmill? Was it her or was it him?
Him.
Like in history,
because
like actual history.
I believe so, because he also was the person who was in her will given the Windmill, and then it went on to his daughter, so it kind of went through his lineage for a while until it got sold.
Right.
And I believe that there was talk that it was also turned into a strip bar at one point as well. So, like, you know,
interesting.
But it was Vivian Van Dam's
They fucking
Windmill.
smutted it up. That's what they did. They smutted it up.
This cast is really quite amazing, and this is Will Young's feature film debut. And as soon as you saw
fucking
this,
pop idol, fucking evergreen, there he is. But he's now he went on to do more stage stuff anyway, at least musical theater stuff.
Makes
I think he
sense.
did. I didn't really see him in any other films. I'm sure he is. I'm sure someone out there is screaming about the filmography of Will Young, but there's nothing particularly notable that I remember.
And
apart from this one, obviously.
There's a couple other people that are in this movie that really jumped out to me, like Natalia Tena. And I was like, I know who that woman is, and she's one of the Windmill girls, and she is Tonks from Harry Potter, which I pointed out to you, and you go, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's also got the attractive one from Flight, that Denzel Washington. It's got that fantastic shot of him just sitting in his car with like a 2-liter bottle of vodka, and then he just starts drinking the whole thing.
Kelly Riley.
Yeah, she's good. I mix her up with Bryce Dallas Howard. I was mixing her up with that, and the other one was Jessica Chastain as well, which makes me want to watch Zero Dark 30 again. But
mix what is her name? Kelly Riley?
Kelly Riley
with Jessica Chastain and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yes, I mix her up with those.
Those two look similar, but she's blonde, Kelly Riley.
Not in her picture on Letterboxd, which I'm surprised why Letterboxd hasn't reached out to us, because we've said Letterboxd at least 4 or 5 times already.
Today?
So, just in general. Like, we say it every time. It's like, let me check my Letterboxd. It's like my number 1 app.
I'll send them a message. Christopher Guest is also in this movie, also known as Christopher Hayden Guest, the 5th Baron Hayden Guest, the Right Honorable Lord Hayden Guest. He's such an interesting person to me. I've always been quite, I don't want to say familiar with Christopher Guest, but I remember when I was taking an acting class when I was in college, and the acting teacher made us sit down and watch a bunch of these clips from these different movies, like Little Shop of Horrors, Best in Show. There was a couple others. And he would go, what is the common theme or the common thread that pulls all these clips together? And we all sat there and no one knew what it was. And he goes, the actor. Like, we're in an acting class and we still couldn't figure out, like, the actor was the same in every single one of these clips.
Yeah.
Because he just blends so incredibly well into all of his roles. I love Christopher Guest. Also, Christopher Guest, which is news to you, Ryan, which surprises me, has been married to Jamie Lee Curtis since 1984.
I'm not surprised that he's not, like, because that's the thing. Like, a lassie likes a funny guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, he's pretty funny. And also, I'm also quite funny. So I know why women like me. But the thing is like, yeah, he's married to Jamie Lee Curtis, which is not bad.
She's amazing.
You could do a lot worse, that's
Yeah.
for sure. So yeah, no, it did surprise me. Because that's the thing, like, as much as it's like, oh, that surprised me, it's like, I don't care. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you tell me who's married to who, I'm just like, whatever. Yeah,
Okay,
that's fantastic.
geez, I'm really sorry I brought it up. And because
Just
I'm
fucking ruining my
apologizing,
Saturday.
do you know what else
Thank
happened?
God my birthday's already passed, because Jesus fucking Christ, this would have put it right down there on the festivities.
We ran past talking about Stephen Frears.
We did, but the thing is, did we run past it, or are we just taking a slightly more meandering journey through the course of this movie?
Potentially, because I would love to know about Stephen Frears, because I'm a big fan.
Well, we know how our audience is just juicy for just information. That's what they want. They love all that juicy knowledge that they get that you can't get from anyone else other than Laura.
Thanks, I guess.
But we can definitely talk about Stephen Frears, the British director and producer of film and TV.
Yeah.
He's a receiver of numerous accolades, and he even received a knighthood in 2023 for his contributions to the film and television industry. Sir Stephen, yeah.
And Dame Judi.
Yeah. I think he's kind of deserving of it, though, because he's kind of like a pillar of the industry, at least in the UK industry, because he's made a few of your favourite films.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's directed several TV movies and shows like Failsafe from 2000, The Deal 2003, Walter and June 1983, Bloody Kids from 1980, Afternoon Off from 79, State of the Union 2019, like a whole bunch of stuff. And he's usually with, I think State of the Union, was that maybe that Benedict Cumberbatch thing? I might be wrong what that was. Because I thought he directed something about, it was like political scandal, like a BBC thing, was like a 2-parter.
The television shows?
Yes, the TV shows, I think. That might be wrong. But he did it through, it was like, something like Infidelity or something with a politician or something back in the day. I don't know if it was Benedict Cumberbatch or not. But anyway, maybe you can check. I'm going to go through his films because there's a lot. But it starts with Gumshoe in 71, The Hit in 84, My Beautiful Laundrette from 1985, which is obviously his like breakout hit. That's the one that everyone remembers. Prick Up Your Ears from 87, Sammy and Rosie Get Laid in 89, Dangerous Liaisons in 88. Yeah, we start to see like a really kind of big elevation. The Grifters from 1990, Hero from 92. You remember that Jet Li movie?
What?
Mary Riley from 96, The Van from 96. Yeah, it wasn't Zhang Yimou. It was Stephen Frears.
Wow.
High Low Country in 98, High Fidelity from 2000. I know you like that movie. Liam from 2000. Dirty Pretty Things from 2002. Then we have Mrs. Henderson Presents in 2005. Christ, he made Mrs. Henderson Presents, then he made The Queen in 2006. It's like, what the fuck? He has no slowdown. Sherry from 2009, Tamara Drew from 2010, Lay the Favourite from 2012, Philomena, which is also pretty good, from 2013.
Coogan.
The Programme, well, it's also Judi Dench and him, right?
Yeah. Well, if someone's like, hey, you want to work with Judi Dench, you don't say no. Or,
no.
In this case, Judy's like, I want to work with you.
Well, thing is, like, Judi Dench to me is like a viscous liquid who's just in everything that you see, and she never is diluted. She's good in everything.
Yeah.
She keeps the same viscosity from every performance that she does. And it's great. So we have Florence Foster, Jenkins from 2016, Victor and Abdul from 2017, and then we have that other movie that we watched recently called The Lost King in 2022, which is his last film that he's made so far.
Another Coogan.
It was another Coogan, and it was an interesting story. There was also a true
Sally
story
Hawkins.
about how they found that body of the lost king
They
in
found
a
Richard
car park.
III in the car park.
Yep.
I remember hearing about that story before I'd even gone to get my master's degree, and it's so incredibly fascinating.
It's a huge,
how
it was a
they
huge
used,
story.
like,
Yeah, huge story.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie's like fine, but the genuine story of
The
like
movie's,
how they
the movie's very
yeah.
mediocre, I suppose. It's the story, but not much
I think
else,
people got
really.
in trouble for that one as well because they didn't feel like they were being represented and people were being played off as villains, but
They had to institute drama.
they had to put the drama.
They had to put in the drama, which, doesn't exactly exist in any. I think we were talking about it last night because we went to go see Nobody 2.
Hell
This is dating this recording. But anyway, we went to go see that, and Josh started asking me about Downton Abbey. And I'm just like, well, yeah, because they have to manufacture drama. Because unless it's like, oh my God, we've got no potatoes for the stew, and it's like it's literally whatever drama they're instituting within the house, and I can't remember because it doesn't involve anybody else. It's just whatever's happening within the house.
Right.
So I'm just kind of like it's never high stakes. It's not like Jackie Chan's gonna jump in through the window and, they're going to have a ladder party. Like, it's not like something's going to happen that it's like, it's whatever they're saying. And I mean, to be honest, yeah, they've made a fucking fortune off that franchise. Like, it's insane.
Downton Abbey. I watched
It's
Downton
actually,
Abbey.
you know what? I'm not going to lie. I think it's actually very good.
I liked Downton Abbey quite a bit, but then all these movies I'm getting,
Well,
I haven't watched them.
You should watch the Robert Altman because it's I can't remember the guy's. Try and remember the Julian Stiles, I think his name is the writer. He did like a murder mystery movie for Robert Altman, called Gosford Park, which I would highly recommend to anybody, because it's very much the same thing, but it's like Clue, but it's like like stuffy British Clue, basically, which is fun. I would say it is fun.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Julian Fellows,
not Styles. Yeah, Harry Styles. Yeah.
Who also wrote School of Rock.
He fucking wrote School of Rock.
Yeah.
The Mike White? No, I thought Mike White wrote that one, didn't he?
He wrote books for stage musicals. I'm reading this off of Wikipedia, including Mary Poppins and School of Rock.
Huh.
So he wrote a book based on the movie.
Oh, shit.
Which is weirder.
That is weirder. Yeah, because I thought Mike White wrote it, and then Linklater obviously directed that one.
Yeah.
Okay, that is some trivia.
I'm going to have to look at that later.
Well, that's a fucking... that's a fucking thing. Yeah, that's... All right. I didn't think that would be a way we would go anyway. But that's Stephen Frears, and for all accounts, yeah, other than say like Mike Leigh, probably the most celebrated British director that's ever lived, I think. He's like top tier, basically.
He's done some great shit that I love.
Aye. Like Stephen Frears is all the way up there. Yeah, it's like he's never really missed. He's like incredibly dependable as a director. Like everything he's made's like it's solid. That's the thing. I think he's just got a very solid and interesting way of directing.
What's very cute about his career is that he ends up going into kind of the, I don't want to say elderly genre, but when he gets later in his career, a lot of his films are based on older people.
Well, it's because he's grown up through the system, and he's got his staple of stars, and he's like, well, I want it.
His stable of stars.
He just wants to work with the same people, and in order for them to be cast, he has to do stories about people who are older. I think that's just how it is. I mean, write what you're, or at least direct or make a film on like what you're witnessing yourself. Because I mean, Stephen Frears, he's still with us. He's in his 80s though,
Yeah.
So. But I mean, his last film was 2022, so, who knows?
Yeah. I don't know what he's up to.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. That's it. I mean, yeah. I mean, if he's gonna cast Judi Dench, he's not casting her in fucking like a street urchin story, and she's the lead. Like that's not gonna work. You know, where she's coming up like a Steve Buscemi, being like, "Hello there, fellow kids." That's not gonna work.
I do love a movie about older people. I love an old person movie. Like, you give me a movie with Diane Keaton falling in love with old Ed Harris, and I'm 1000% in.
Yeah, but that movie was weird.
There's all those movies with Diane Keaton and Murphy Brown, and they're reading 50 Shades of Grey. I'm getting all horned up. Love it. I love it because I hope when I'm older, I still want to talk about penises and boobs, and I'm all horned up about
you get a stirring.
Smut.
Yeah, you start getting stirred, stirred in your innards.
Judi Dench and Bob Hoskins, I don't know what their history is, but they have incredible chemistry in this movie. And it's not a movie where they get together because his character, Vivian Van Damme, is married.
He is.
And she is obviously a widow.
I would also say as well, I think Bob Hoskins and Judi Dench have worked on several different things over the course of their career.
I just don't know what those things are.
No, and I can only assume that they have. That's the thing. Because they come from a very particular school of acting.
Of course.
You know, so.
I mean, I don't know. I just think that they're wonderful.
They would have shared the screen or the stage at some point in their careers. Like, that's just unavoidable, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. They have incredible chemistry, but it's not a movie where their characters get together, but it is a movie where their characters love each other, but it's just wrong time, wrong place, you know?
It's very old-fashioned.
It's
in
cute.
That respect. Yeah. It's very brief
cute.
Encounter. Like, it's very kind of like...
It's not very brief encounter.
It is. It's of that kind of stuffiness.
It's not like, brief encounter is incredible.
Yeah, I'm not
brief
saying it's
encounter
a bad
makes
thing.
you want to scream. This is just like they're cute and they're older and he's, you know, they're just trying to have a nice time.
Yeah.
Like there doesn't need to be anything.
No, you just need to be surrounded by friends when you get older.
Yeah.
You don't need romantic interests.
Yeah, just have fun.
Just have fun.
Spend all your money.
Yeah, because it's like, it's good to get your bone on, but at the same time, it's like it just overcomplicates everything. You just wanna go out, maybe have a drink at the bowling alley, you know, hang out with Stan. Just talk about your work day or lack of work day if you're retired, you know.
God, we'd hope so.
You know, laugh at some kids, trip over a toddler, you know, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, and you're just like, I can't wait till I get older.
I'm just surprised that she could keep her hands off of him with that Gary Oldman Dracula hair.
Oh, fucking haircut. Yeah, it looks like he rises from a coffin every fucking evening for the 2:00 showing of their show when doors open. Holy fucking shit, that fucking haircut.
It literally looks... I'm going to get
like
picture and put
McDonald's
it on Instagram.
Sign. Yeah, it just looks like...
side by side of Gary and Bob.
Here's the thing. Like, the one thing I will say is that Bob Hoskins doesn't look laughable in this.
No.
As opposed to fucking Gary Oldman in that movie.
I'm sorry. Disagree?
I don't like the way he looks in that Dracula
with
film.
his cool sunglasses and his big top hat and his velvet.
That's different, but the fucking red dressing gown and the hair.
When he's all wrinkly and stuff before he gets sexy.
Fucking old, yes.
Yeah, but when he gets sexy, Ryan.
That's different. That's Gary Oldman being sexy.
Yeah.
But he's not. He doesn't look that.
Well, yeah, that's
the beginning
fine.
of the movie where you're just like, fuck.
Where he's got that like armor that's like muscles.
That's different. I like the fucking Draco armor.
That's awesome.
Fucking cool. But when Keanu ends up over there and you see him for the first time, you're just like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Should have done. I mean, I know they were like, we can't have him making look too like Bela Lugosi, you know, because it's a parody at this point when they do that movie. But like, yeah, just I don't know.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I don't know. Luckily, he's not in the film forever, but like, yeah, it's like up until the point where he gets attacked by the vampire ladies. But yeah, either way.
I think I'm going to jump into this penis scene. You ready? this unprecedented moment
Well,
in
here's
time.
the thing. I don't know if the audience is ready.
Honestly,
Because
I watched it several times, but I'm
going to get very excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this happens at 41 minutes and 5 seconds into this motion picture. And it's when we're having the rehearsals for the tableaus for the nude female, I guess it's not a nude female review, but for the nude tableaus, right? And they hit a snag because the women are nervous about removing their robes when there's just a ton of men standing around watching. There's like 5 dudes standing there, and then you've
with
got
their clothes on.
Of course.
It feels incredibly imbalanced.
So they say, you take your clothes off, we'll take our clothes off. We'll even the scale.
Yep.
And so the women start chanting, off, 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 and they're yelling at Bob Hoskins' character, off, 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 take your clothes off. And he's like, I have to set some decorum in here. And eventually, the men standing on the side, which are Will Young is on the side, Toby Jones is there, there's a couple other guys there. They come on the middle of the stage, they strip down to their clothes, and Bob Hoskins is in the audience, and he's the only one in the audience. And he's
the director.
Of course, he starts taking his clothes off.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Henderson Judi Dench walks in with her dachshund.
Classical comedy reveal.
Absolutely. She's wearing her beautiful fur coat and her adorable little brown dachshund.
Yeah.
Comic relief dachshund. And she walks down the aisle, looks up at the stage.
Yeah.
And sees at least 10 naked people. Men and women.
They're all naked.
There is 5 guys on stage, okay? But you only see 2 penises. There's
a partial.
And 2 full. 1 partial.
2 full, 1 partial. 2 are completely covered.
Yeah, Toby Jones is bending over in like the weirdest way possible, so you can't see a thing.
Yeah.
He did not want to participate.
Although I don't see that as egregious as the person who's holding the rag. But the thing is, Stephen did say in the commentary they had to be careful with how they cut around the nudity.
Yes.
So this is probably just another one of those where it's like, let's do this 10 times at varying different things, and then we'll figure out which one we're allowed to get away with.
True.
Because the women have to be, well, you don't really see any of their bottom, but like it's unavoidable. You have to see some boobs. And they are actually, throughout the course of the film, at least with the women, because I'm obviously not wanting to deviate too far, they are careful with how much they show that stuff as well. True. Where they feel like they start off with it and then they figure out the balance of what they think they're allowed. Because it's very tasteful. I think that's also a thing that I'm trying to point out here. It's also very tasteful. Well, all of it is.
That was the entire agreement between Mrs. Henderson and the Lord Chamberlain, who's played by Christopher Guest, who is the person that
he's the arbiter,
or nays shows and what goes on and what doesn't go on. And so she wants them to have nudity. She's known this guy since he was a child.
Yeah.
She calls him Little Tommy.
They're friends.
So he obviously doesn't think that they should have nudity. She believes that they should because she wants to make money and be different from the other stage shows. And so that the compromise was that if it's like a museum where the women do not move, they're like paintings, then they can have nudity.
Yeah.
That was the compromise. So, so you do have it be like art where they're in these scenarios, a backdrop while the rest of the show is happening around.
Well, that was their argument, is that we've been witness to the human, like the human anatomy, like the naked form in art. Why should it be any different if you see it in person?
Yeah.
But obviously the rub with this is there's a level of titillation obviously involved in what they're doing. They're getting arses in seats, and I think it's because obviously they're transferring hands with money and stuff like that.
Oh, they know exactly why they're doing it. They're not doing it for art. They're doing it for money.
Yes.
And this is just the way to get around.
Yeah. But it's people like this that tip the scales, that kind of obviously push the boundaries, and obviously what we see in art and media now. So
yeah,
this is kind of one of those examples, but yeah.
Absolutely. So Mrs. Henderson Judi Dench walks in. She sees all the people on stage naked, and she just kind of looks. She's not a woman who's easily shocked by anything whatsoever. She's very chill. And then she looks over to her left and sees her friend Vivian Van Damme, and he is nude.
He is.
He's a nude Bob Hoskins.
It's Bob is fucking naked.
Fully
naked. And it's not shy. There's nothing shy about it.
Nope, there's no shy, no shadows, wide shot.
Nope. There's contrast.
Yes.
But there's no deliberate lighting. Let's put it that way. He does basically a Harvey Keitel. Bob Hoskins does a Harvey Keitel.
At least
it's
he's
not sad.
No, he's not crying.
No, it's not sad. But at least it's proud. And it's not, that's the thing. I mean, I saw that whole scene that happens, 5 stars.
It's great.
And it's probably the best one. And it's weird because we didn't even really know about this film.
I did.
You did, but there was no confirmation. So it's confirmed.
I was a little confused. I get things confused because I just do, and I forget everything. But these scenes I do not forget. I remembered seeing Bob Hoskins in the audience naked. I remember that vividly. But then I was trying to scan through just to double check because sometimes I forget. But no, that's exactly what I remember. I don't even remember the men on the stage. I remember Hoskins.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah. I hadn't, because we hadn't seen the film before.
Yeah,
we hadn't realized the context of it.
No, I hadn't actually watched the film. I just looked for the wiener. Yeah,
which is, I mean, that's something that you do. Now that's something you used to do more. Now it's like we watch movies and if something happens to show up, you're like, ooh, I better write that one down.
Yeah.
I've
seen a lot of movies these days. Well, one very important part about this Bob Hoskins penis reveal is the dog, because there is a dachshund, an audible dachshund penis reaction.
Yeah.
Because Judi Dench is holding the dog, and then you see Bob Hoskins, she reacts. I think you look at Bob Hoskins again, and then there's a shot of the dog staring at Hoskins, and he just makes a little like like the jokiest, silliest the dog hadn't spoke the whole movie, and this is the only thing the dog says. I was like, like, incredible.
The dog's just reacting to what it's seeing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Hoskins said that he wasn't nervous, and since he was, quote, the old man in the cast, that if he were to take his clothes off, everyone else would do it, right? So he said, well, I've got nothing to brag about. And Stephen Frears remembers Bob saying that he had nothing to be ashamed of and nothing to be proud of. But it was just something they didn't talk about. They filmed the scene. He said that he barely remembers doing it because it wasn't a big deal. But a lot of people bring that scene up to him nowadays, like that it was a big scene for them and quite memorable, and he just doesn't really remember. It wasn't that impactful at the time that they were making the film.
Yeah.
That he just remembers it being quite casual, and it's a very British thing. Bob Hoskins, that was what he was called to do, and he did it. It was just not something he thought about, nothing he argued about. It just was.
Yeah.
It was his job, and he did it, and they carried on. So I love that. That's something I like a lot, that it wasn't something that it was really thought about and really manicured. It's just they shot it, and they carried on with their day.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Yeah. I like what Stephen Frears says about the dog, and that he's like not really taken by dogs, so obviously doesn't like dogs. But he's like he was taken by that dog's reaction for whatever reason. He's like, yeah, no, I do like that.
It's so goofy. It's fantastic, yeah. The theater scenes and like the tableaus were actually created from photographs that they had of the theater.
Okay.
And I guess I don't really have that much more to say, except I did want to bring up the end speech by Mrs. Harrison. Harrison. My God.
Jesus. Henderson. Yeah, no wonder you didn't get my name.
My brain doesn't work.
Your brain is broken. Yeah. You're more intelligent than me, but
not today.
I'm Yeah, well, that's the thing. You having more intelligent days are better than me being stupid 100% of the time.
Good Lord.
You know.
Well, you know, I don't want to say raucous speech, but that Mrs. Henderson, Judi Dench made at the end, I think it's funny that she explains to everyone because basically the theater continued doing their 3 shows a day during the fucking Blitz.
Yeah.
And this is what actually happened, right? In reality, in history, the Windmill Theater continued putting on their tableaus during the Blitz, and there were still original Windmill girls there, like when they were shooting the movie, that would kind of just tell stories and everything, and they would tell stories about how fucking scary it was. But it's like the show must go on to a full theater of soldiers.
Yeah.
And they just felt, I don't know if it's like they felt like this is what they needed to do to kind of bring brevity to a really dire situation.
It was the whole keep calm and carry on sort of thing. It's like you wouldn't put it, like I always felt like the mentality was down to the fact that we're all in it together. We're not going to let them know that we're in angst or we're being defeated. Like, we will continue living our lives and we will continue fighting this war.
Right.
One step at a time, which is something that, like, yeah, no, I think that was great. I mean, I remember my grandparents telling me about times where they had to go, like, certainly my gran, because my gran was a little older than my grandfather, about how they'd have to go underground and, they would be eating certain foods and stuff like that. You didn't know what was going to be like after a bombing. You didn't really know what was going on, but you had to keep on going, because otherwise what was the point? And I was like, I always kind of found that mentality to be quite like humbling, because we don't really have anything like that now. Like, that wouldn't really happen now.
I don't want anything to happen.
No, but like,
I'm scared.
That back then, it's like, I think it's like, you think about the Second World War as like it was a real piece of heroism, because they were defeating an actual evil, like a real visible evil presence that was looking to destroy you. And it's like, yeah, no, so I've always kind of seen that, and I think that mentality worked,
Yeah, there was other theaters that would show maybe 1 show a day, but they had closed most of the theaters just so people weren't congregating, because it was more of a danger if you have a bunch of people in one space. You don't want everyone to get bombed.
Makes sense.
They were trying to stand up to that and just say, we need this, the people need this, the soldiers need this, we need this. And also their theater was underground, so they felt slightly more safe because you are underground and you're congregating underground, and it's slightly safer than being at street level. So she makes this speech about wanting to keep the windmill open because she thought it was important to show nude women in the theater, because she believed that when her son died during the First World War, that he had died without ever seeing a real nude woman in his life, because he had a little French postcard of a naked lady. And she goes, it just hurts me to think that my son had never seen boobs. I don't know why I'm doing that accent, but it's just funny because I can't do a Judi Dench, can I?
No, but
I'm not going to. I could just do a Southern lady.
Just that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was her reasoning to the masses for wanting to keep the theater open, is so these soldiers could see tits. Okay? But that's not why she wanted the theater. She didn't make the theater so soldiers could see tits. She made the theater so she could make some money and have fun in retirement. She's
allowed to lie.
She did lie a lot.
She just bent the truth.
She lied a lot during the film, which I thought was kind of fun, because she's just like, I'm an old lady. Like, when you're older, you can do anything you want. Was someone going to yell at you? I remember being in a grocery store with my grandma, and she would rip farts and then walk away quietly, and I would be stuck with a fart and I would run away. I'm like, you can do anything you want.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah.
Gross.
Because what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Like, what do? Grandma, stop farting in the grocery store? No.
Yeah, you're like, I have a problem with my bowel.
What do? Grandma, stop.
That's none of your business.
Stop putting tits on the stage? No way. Grandma's going to put those tits on the stage, and you're going to sit in your seat, and you're going to like it.
What do you mean, you have a problem with this? I have a problem with my brain. Would you want me to talk to you about this and why I shouldn't be doing this?
No way.
Youngster.
Well, this film grossed $27.8 million at the box office and had a budget of $20 million. So wasn't a huge success, but it made its money back.
All right.
Nominated for 2 Academy Awards, Best Actress for Judi Dench and Best Costume Design, but Reese Witherspoon won for Walk the Line. Yeah. And costume design went to Memoirs of a Geisha.
Well, that was a big one that year.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting their fucking jollies off. I think just Mrs. Henderson Presents just came out the wrong year, basically.
Well, it's also, I feel like you always have one of those kind of...
Well, Memoirs of a Geisha was kind of like a... It was that fucking guy, because he did... is he the same person who did Chicago or something like that?
I don't know. Let's see.
I guess we'll find out. Same thing, but it doesn't really matter.
Rob Marshall?
Is it Rob Marshall?
Directed it? Yeah, he did Chicago.
Then I'm correct.
You are.
Yeah, it was during the Rob Marshall years.
Well, let's get into our ratings. Why don't you go first? Birthday month man.
I'm gonna say that I give the scene 5 stars.
Excellent.
It's probably the best scene that we'll cover. I don't know how we're gonna top this one. The balance is right. Everything's there. It's for comedy. There's no sadness about it. You know, obviously, as I'm getting older, I like things to be a little bit more jovial. Yeah, and I just think that like it's a classic moment, and it feels fun. It's nice. There's a dog reaction to it.
Absolutely.
It's pitched and paced perfectly. Yeah, 5 stars. 5 stars. I feel like over-explaining it would diminish it somewhat.
I'm going to hit that old docking station with you. I also think it's 5 stars. I mean, Bob Hoskins, guys. What better can you get? I love Bob Hoskins. I wish that I was able to have Bob Hoskins yell at me, you know, like as an actor. I think that I would really enjoy that, but I can't anymore because he's no longer with us. But I love Bob Hoskins, and this movie's really fun. That scene's great. You got all the wieners on stage. It's very funny. It's just a nice moment. So yeah, 5 stars. And the movie for you, Ryan?
I gave it 4.5 because I quite enjoyed it. It's a good time. There's nothing in it that's like, it's just a good time. It's just a nice movie about a bunch of folk doing something that was interesting, and it's fun. It's musical. It's got Will Young in it. It can't really go wrong.
It's just a nice movie about people doing an interesting thing. Absolutely. I originally gave it 3.5. But I'm going to give it a 4 because I think that it has a decent rewatch value.
Well, it's because you were wrong.
Totally. Okay. The dialogue in this is so funny. I laughed out loud several times at just Judi Dench being fucking hilarious. And I love Judi Dench and I love an old people movie. So 4 stars. This is definitely a fun movie to watch. You're just going to have a nice time. So that's all I got.
Yeah. No, I just think the film's great. Film's bloody brilliant.
You have anything else to say?
No, I'm looking at the filmography of Koji Yakusho.
Okay. Well, happy birthday month to you. Mrs. Henderson presents Ryan. Yeah. Coming to you from the Windmill stage door. I have been Laura.
You already know who I am.
And make sure to follow us on Letterboxd and Instagram and give us 5 stars where you rate podcasts because that's just a nice thing to do. We will see you next time.